In the heart of a small American town, lined with oak trees and quaint cafés, was the local crown jewel, TechSpark, an innovative educational technology startup founded by Daniel Torres. A born entrepreneur, Daniel held not just a degree in computer science from Stanford University, but also a charisma that earned him the admiration and respect of everyone who knew him. TechSpark began in a small rented garage, but quickly grew to become one of the city's leading employers, transforming it into an unexpected hub of technological innovation. Before the crisis, Daniel was the picture of American success. Coming from a humble background, the son of Mexican immigrants, he often shared stories of how his parents struggled to provide him with opportunities they never had themselves. This narrative of determination and hard work resonated throughout the company, fostering a culture of persistence and innovation. Under his leadership, TechSpark launched a series of educational products that not only revolutionized digital learning, but also provided educational access to underserved communities across the country. The city, once just a pass-through point, now flourished with new businesses and job opportunities, thanks to TechSpark's success. Restaurants, retail stores, and other services sprang up to cater to the company's employees and their families, bringing new life and energy to the area. Daniel was seen not just as a business leader but as a true pillar of the community. He was often involved in local activities, from speaking at schools to sponsoring community events, always aiming to inspire the next generation of innovators. However, Daniel's reality was not made up solely of triumphs. Privately, he faced challenges that went beyond business. His wife, Marina, struggled with a chronic illness, often casting a shadow of concern over his days. Despite the hardships, the couple found strength in each other, and Marina always stood by Daniel, encouraging him to pursue his dreams, even in the darkest moments. When the economic crisis of 2008 hit, it seemed just another hurdle for Daniel to overcome. Initially, with his customary confidence, he assured his team that they would weather any storm together. But as the tech market began to suffer from funding cuts and a drastic drop in consumption, the situation became critically precarious. Customers began canceling contracts, and TechSpark's revenue plummeted. Daniel found himself forced to make painful cuts, from long-standing layoffs to reductions in the benefits he was so proud to offer. The community, so accustomed to seeing Daniel as a symbol of perseverance, began to witness his struggle. At a community meeting, instead of offering his usual words of encouragement, Daniel spoke with cutting honesty about the challenges he faced, not only professionally but also the emotional weight of seeing friends and colleagues lose their jobs. His vulnerability in that moment did not diminish the respect people had for him. On the contrary, it increased the community's solidarity. This chapter of Daniel's life was just the prelude to a journey of adversity and eventual redemption. The crisis would force him to reevaluate himself and delve deeply into his resilience and creativity. Even in the face of uncertainties, he never lost faith in his ability to bounce back and continue making a difference. With TechSpark on the brink of collapse and Daniel's personal savings severely affected, the following months were filled with struggle and uncertainty. The pressure to maintain the house, care for Marina, and ensure that his employees were at least partially compensated seemed overwhelming. In his darkest moments, Daniel found refuge in long walks through the city's parks, where the tall trees and fresh air offered him a brief respite from the worries that haunted him. On these walks, he reflected on the cycles of nature, reminding himself that after every harsh winter, spring always returned, bringing new life and opportunities. It was during one of these walks that Daniel had a fortuitous encounter that would change the course of his trajectory. He met Clara, a former university colleague who had become a business consultant. Clara, seeing Daniel's state of exhaustion, offered not just words of comfort, but also a new perspective on how he could turn things around. She suggested a less traditional approach to rebuilding TechSpark, focusing on adaptability and strategic collaborations that could reduce costs while expanding market reach. Inspired by this reunion and armed with new ideas, Daniel began to restructure his business plan. He gathered his reduced team for a brainstorming retreat, where together they charted a new direction for the company. TechSpark would focus on affordable and scalable educational solutions, using digital platforms to reach a global audience. This new vision not only revitalized the business, but also reignited the passion and purpose in Daniel's heart. As TechSpark began to show signs of recovery, the surrounding community also began to reap the benefits. The new educational solutions the company developed were particularly beneficial to schools in underserved areas, which could now offer their students resources that were previously inaccessible. Daniel also initiated a series of free workshops for local entrepreneurs, sharing his learnings about resilience and innovation in times of crisis. As summer said goodbye with its last warm days, a palpable chill set in, and not just because of the changing seasons. The economic crisis of 2008, which initially seemed a distant setback, began to show its tentacles in all sectors of the economy. For TechSpark, the impact was immediate and devastating. Daniel felt the pressure mounting day by day. Contracts that were the backbone of the company's cash flow began to be canceled one after the other. Large clients, who promised long-term partnerships, now spoke of reassessments and necessary adjustments in the economic context. Each cancellation email was a direct blow to TechSpark's stability and the spirit of its team. On a rainy October afternoon, Daniel called an emergency meeting with his leadership team. In the large hall that once vibrated with ideas and innovations, a silent tension now reigned. Daniel, standing before his colleagues, began to speak with a frankness he rarely used. "Friends, I won't sugarcoat the situation. We are facing the biggest crisis of our history. The last few weeks have been challenging, and the coming months will be even tougher if we don't act immediately." His gaze swept the room, meeting worried faces. Livia, the head of product development, interrupted, her voice trembling. "Daniel, we are all aware of the difficulties, but we need to understand clearly how much this will affect us. What are the real forecasts for the coming months?" Daniel sighed, running his hands through his hair before responding. "The forecasts are not good. Unless we secure a new revenue stream or a financial miracle, we will have to consider significant cuts. I'm talking about staff reductions, salary freezes, and perhaps even scaling back our most ambitious projects." The silence that followed was broken by Marco, the sales manager. "What about seeking external investments? Maybe we can present our most promising projects to potential investors. We have to think of all possibilities before cutting our own flesh." Daniel nodded, grateful for Marco's initiative. "Excellent point. I'll schedule all my meetings to focus on that. We need a solid presentation and convince investors that, despite the storm, we are a safe harbor." In the days that followed, the team worked tirelessly, preparing proposals and reviewing business plans. Daniel, for his part, was in the trenches with them, but the nights were long and lonely. At home, worry was a constant companion, compounded by Marina's health, which seemed to decline in proportion to the company's finances. On a cold night, as Daniel reviewed the finances, Marina approached, wrapping him in a blanket. "You can't keep going like this, Daniel. Not alone." She sat beside him, taking his hand. "I know, love, but I see no other way. Every decision I make now, however small, seems to carry the weight of 1,000 others." Daniel confessed, his face tired and lit only by the laptop's light. Marina squeezed his hand, offering a sad smile. "You've always found a way where no one else could see. If anyone can weather this storm, it's you. But don't forget, you're not alone. We are with you, all of us." Inspired by Marina's unwavering faith, Daniel spent the next days preparing for a series of meetings with investors. Each presentation was a battle, each refusal a setback. But he persisted, driven by the belief that TechSpark's resilience and innovation would find their champion. After weeks of relentless efforts, the response came. A group of investors took an interest in one of TechSpark's educational technology projects. Although it didn't solve all the financial problems, it was enough to give the company and the team a lifeline. Daniel convened another meeting, this time with news that carried a glimmer of hope. With a cautious smile, he announced, "We have an investor. It's not a complete solution, but it's a start. A start that allows us to fight another day." The relief was palpable. The team, although still cautious, allowed themselves a moment of celebration. Daniel, in the midst of them, felt a wave of gratitude. Looking at his colleagues, he knew that, regardless of future challenges, they would face everything together. It was their unity, after all, that had always been the true heart of TechSpark. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of renewed efforts and palpable anxiety throughout TechSpark. Although the investment had given the company a chance to fight, the real battle was just beginning. Daniel knew that the survival of the company would depend not only on keeping operations running but on true innovation that could reposition TechSpark in the market. On a rainy Wednesday afternoon, with the crisis still casting long shadows over the future, Daniel found himself in a local cafe to meet with Clara, the friend and business consultant who had been instrumental in the search for investors. The place was nearly empty, with just a few local residents scattered among the wooden tables and colorful chairs. Equals. Clara smiled as she saw him approaching. "Daniel, you look a bit more hopeful since the last time we talked," she observed, handing him a hot coffee. "Hopeful, yes, but still not out of danger," Daniel replied, thanking her for the coffee. "This investment has bought us time, but we need a fundamental change if we really want to get out of this." Clara nodded understandingly. "So, what do you have in mind?" Daniel sighed, looking at the steam rising from his cup. "I've been thinking a lot about this. Our educational products are good, but not distinct enough in today's saturated market. We need something that not only educates but truly inspires and engages in ways that others aren't." "And how do you plan to do that?" Clara asked, pulling out a notepad. "Through augmented reality," Daniel declared. "Imagine an app that not only teaches math or science but brings the concepts to the user's real life, showing how knowledge can be applied in everyday life through interactive simulations." Clara raised her eyebrows, clearly intrigued. "That sounds revolutionary. But do you have the team and the resources to develop something like that?" "We'll need more than we have now, that's for sure," Daniel admitted. "But I know some brilliant people who might be interested in joining us if we present a compelling vision. And with the support of our new investor, we might have the initial push we need." Clara smiled. "That sounds like the Daniel I know, always seeing opportunities where others see obstacles." Encouraged, Daniel spent the following days drafting a detailed plan for the new product direction. He called a meeting with the entire team to discuss the vision and seek everyone's commitment. In the conference room, with the team gathered, Daniel began to outline his idea, using the projector to show slides with concepts and potential applications of augmented reality. The room was filled with a mix of excitement and doubt. Sophia, one of the most experienced software engineers, expressed concern. "Daniel, this sounds promising, but it's a big shift in direction. We're talking about retraining the team, maybe even hiring new talent. Are you confident we can do this with the resources we have?" Daniel acknowledged the concern with a nod. "I understand your reservations, and yes, it's a risk, but it's a calculated risk. We're in a position where safe might very well lead us to failure. We need to innovate not just to survive but to thrive." Mariana, the marketing manager, raised her hand. "And about the competition? Other companies are already exploring augmented reality. How will we stand out?" "By focusing on quality and practical application," Daniel replied. "We'll partner with schools and universities, get direct feedback from educators and students. We'll adapt our product based on real data, not just hunches. That will give us a critical edge over competitors who might be following a more generic approach." The team listened intently, weighing every word. Daniel continued, emphasizing the importance of each department in the success of the project. He spoke about how design, development, marketing, and sales would need to work in perfect harmony to bring this dream to reality. As the meeting progressed, a sense of unity began to form. Doubts gave way to cautious enthusiasm, and ideas started to flow freely around the room. Livia, always the skeptic, finally spoke. "If we're going to do this, we need to ensure we're all on the same page. We need total transparency and a firm commitment from everyone here. If we go into this, it's to win." Daniel smiled, encouraged by the team spirit. "Exactly, Livia. We're going to do this together, and we're going to do it right." TechSpark was founded with the goal of making a difference, of changing the way people learn and interact with knowledge. This is our chance to return to our roots and at the same time carve a new path for the future. After the meeting, the team dispersed, but the energy remained high. Conversations and brainstorming sessions extended through the hallways and offices, with the team discussing potential challenges and solutions with a new light of optimism. In the days and weeks that followed, Daniel and his team worked tirelessly, refining the idea, conducting market research, and starting the development of prototypes. Daniel also met with schools and universities, presenting TechSpark's vision and establishing initial partnerships. During one of these meetings, he spoke with Dr. Elena Vasquez, the principal of a local school, who expressed enthusiasm for the idea. "Mr. Torres, if you can pull this off, it could transform the way our students learn. I'm impressed with your vision and eager to see how we can collaborate." Daniel left these meetings revitalized, the certainty growing within him that they were on the right track. The combination of innovative technology and strategic partnerships was shaping up to be the key to not just saving TechSpark, but also redefining its role at the forefront of education. As the augmented reality project took shape, hope blossomed not just within TechSpark, but also in the community that began to see signs of a turnaround. Daniel knew there were still challenges ahead, but now he had something that had been missing during the darkest days of the crisis: a clear direction and the unwavering support of his team and the community. In the months that followed, the energy at TechSpark was palpable. The office, which once echoed with the uncertainty and fear of the economic crisis, now buzzed with the sound of lively discussions and the constant clicking of keyboards. Daniel's vision of incorporating augmented reality into educational solutions had injected new life into the company. The team, although cautious, began to feel what seemed like the prelude to a rebirth. Daniel knew that rebuilding would require more than just technical innovation. It would require reconnecting with the community and a renewed commitment to the core values of TechSpark. He began this process by organizing weekly feedback sessions with the team, where everyone was encouraged to express their ideas and concerns. In one of these meetings, Sophia raised a crucial point. "Daniel, while we focus on product development, we can't forget to strengthen our internal culture. The crisis shook us, and to fully rebuild, we need to ensure everyone is aligned and motivated." Daniel nodded, recognizing the importance of this aspect. "You're absolutely right, Sophia. Let's dedicate time to team-building sessions and also reinforce our mission to all new members who join us in this new phase." The implementation of the augmented reality solutions proved to be challenging but extraordinarily rewarding. Daniel and his development team worked tirelessly to create prototypes, test functionalities, and ensure that each product not only taught but also delighted users. They introduced a pilot app in local schools, where the response from students exceeded expectations. During a visit to one of these schools to observe the app in use, Daniel spoke with the science teacher, Mrs. Bennett, who shared her enthusiasm. "Mr. Torres, seeing the students so engaged with the content is refreshing. They're truly seeing science applied to the real world, and that makes all the difference." Encouraged by Mrs. Bennett's words, Daniel knew he was on the right track. However, he also recognized that rebuilding the business would require ongoing efforts beyond product development. TechSpark needed to reposition itself in the market and regain the trust of its investors and customers. To tackle this challenge, Mariana, the marketing manager, launched an innovative campaign titled "Learning to Transform," highlighting how TechSpark's new technologies were preparing students for the future. The campaign was disseminated through social media, educational workshops, and webinars, reaching a wide audience and revitalizing the company's image. Additionally, Daniel focused on strengthening relationships with business partners. He organized regular meetings with investors, updating them on progress and challenges faced. In one of these meetings, he explained, "We're not just rebuilding TechSpark, but also redefining how technology can serve education. Each step we take toward enhancing our products also brings us closer to making a more significant impact on society." The transparency and determination of Daniel reinforced the confidence of investors, who began to see the crisis as a difficult but necessary turning point that catalyzed innovation within TechSpark. Internally, to ensure that the company not only survived but also thrived, Daniel invested in training and professional development for his team. Workshops on the latest augmented reality technologies and agile project management methods became common, preparing the team for future challenges and opportunities. After months of hard work and dedication, signs of recovery began to materialize. TechSpark not only regained some of its old clients but also attracted new ones, drawn by the promise of an education transformed by augmented reality technology. Sales began to rise, and with them, team morale. One day, during a quarterly review, Daniel presented the numbers that showed a clear trend of recovery. The room, full of executives and team members, erupted in applause as the projections surpassed expectations. "These numbers," Daniel said, raising a colorful chart, "are not just a sign of our financial success. They are a testament to our commitment to innovation and education. Each one of you played a crucial role in this." The company also intensified its corporate social responsibility initiatives. Daniel knew that part of rebuilding TechSpark involved a renewed commitment to the community. Thus, he initiated programs that offered free technology courses to students in underserved areas, helping to equip the next generation with the skills needed for the future. During the inauguration of one of these programs, Daniel spoke to the local community about the importance of technology education. "The crisis taught us many things, and one of the most important is that education is the foundation for a better future. With these initiatives, we hope not only to teach skills, but to inspire a new wave of creators and innovators." The community engagement didn't stop there. TechSpark also collaborated with universities to create internships and mentoring programs, providing students with hands-on experience with the latest technologies. These partnerships were beneficial for all involved, bringing fresh ideas and energy to the company while preparing young people for future careers. As TechSpark navigated this phase of growth and innovation, Daniel often reflected on the company's journey. In a casual meeting with Clara, now a trusted advisor, he shared his reflections. Looking back, the crisis was a catalyst for necessary change. It forced us to rethink and reinvent not just our business, but how we contribute to the world. Clara smiled, agreeing. "And you led that transformation with a clear vision and unwavering determination." TechSpark is emerging not just as a company that survived a crisis, but as a thoughtful leader in the field of educational technology. Daniel and his team continued to look forward, ready to face new challenges with the confidence that they had not only the ability to adapt and innovate, but also to make a lasting difference in the world of education. The transformation of TechSpark, from a company on the brink of collapse to a leader in innovative educational technology, was not just a story of economic recovery, but also a vivid demonstration of human resilience and visionary innovation. Over the next 2 years, TechSpark not only consolidated its position in the market, but also expanded its influence, touching the lives of students and educators around the world. The key to this success was the unique combination of advanced technology, savvy business strategy, and an unwavering commitment to the company's original mission to transform education. Under Daniel's leadership, TechSpark developed a series of new products that used augmented reality to bring abstract concepts to life, making learning fun and interactive. At an educational technology conference, Daniel presented TechSpark's success story. He took the stage with calm confidence, prepared to share his journey with an auditorium full of peers, investors, and technology experts. "When we faced the economic crisis a few years ago," Daniel began, "it seemed like all our previous efforts might be in vain. But in the midst of that storm, we found the opportunity to redefine our purpose and transform our challenges into innovations that could really make a difference." He continued, describing the hardships faced and how the decision to invest in augmented reality came not just as a measure to save the company, but as a move to more closely align TechSpark with the future needs of global education. Integrating augmented reality into our products allowed students to see math, science, and even the arts in a completely new way. "We transformed learning from something you do sitting in a classroom to something you can experience and interact with in your everyday life." The audience's response was enthusiastic. Educators from around the world were eager to implement these innovative tools in their classrooms. Sales soared, and TechSpark's reputation as a pioneer in educational technology was solidified. Alongside commercial success, Daniel maintained his commitment to the social impact of the company. TechSpark launched a global initiative, Education Without Borders, which provided free educational resources to underserved communities in various parts of the world. This program not only expanded access to quality education but also reinforced TechSpark's image as a company truly dedicated to social good. During a launch event for this program, Daniel met with community leaders and students from a remote region. One of the students, a young boy named Miguel, approached Daniel with a shy smile. "Mr. Torres, I just wanted to say thank you," Miguel said. "Before we had access to your program, I never really understood math. Now, not only do I understand it, but I'm helping my friends learn too." This direct feedback from those benefited by TechSpark's work filled Daniel with deep joy and a renewed sense of purpose. He shared this story with his team upon returning, reinforcing the importance of their work beyond sales numbers. "Look," Daniel told a team meeting, "our mission goes beyond profit. Every product we develop, every partnership we form, has the potential to change life trajectories." Miguel and his friends are the real measure of our success. Inspired by these words and the difference they were making, the TechSpark team continued to innovate and expand their product line. The company also became a coveted place to work, attracting talent from around the world who wanted to contribute to a greater cause while developing their careers. Looking to the future, Daniel planned to continue TechSpark's expansion, not just geographically, but also by broadening the reach of their educational solutions. The company's success had generated sufficient resources to invest in research and development, allowing TechSpark to explore emerging technologies that could take interactive learning to new heights. During a strategic session with the leadership team, Daniel discussed the next phase of growth. "We've proven that we can turn a crisis into an opportunity and lead the market with our innovations. Now, we need to think about how we can use our technology to not only teach, but also solve larger global problems like educational disparities and accessibility." The team was aligned and motivated by Daniel's vision. Future projects included developing a platform that would use artificial intelligence to tailor educational content to individual student needs, ensuring that everyone, regardless of their abilities or background, could benefit from the best education possible. TechSpark also began to collaborate with governments and international organizations to integrate their technologies into public education policies, further expanding the social impact of their innovations. In recognition of his significant impact on education and technology, Daniel was invited to speak at various global conferences, where he shared not only TechSpark's successes but also the lessons learned about leadership during times of crisis. His commitment to using technology to improve people's lives and his ethical approach to business earned him several awards for leadership and corporate social responsibility. At one such conference, in a closed session with leaders from various industries, Daniel reflected on TechSpark's journey. "Our story isn't just about overcoming an economic crisis. It's about staying true to your values even when times are tough. It's about looking beyond profit and seeing how we can contribute meaningfully to the world." The conversation inspired many other leaders to think about how their companies could also make a difference, not just on the bottom line but in the social fabric of the communities they served. Back at TechSpark headquarters, the atmosphere was one of optimism and continual innovation. The company had not only overcome adversity but had set a new standard for how business and innovation can go hand in hand with social responsibility. Looking out from his office, with a view over the campus that now included a research and development center and an incubator for educational startups, Daniel felt a profound sense of gratitude and purpose. He knew that future challenges were inevitable, but he also knew that TechSpark was well-equipped to meet them and continue making a difference in the world. The journey of TechSpark, under the leadership of Daniel Torres, is a story of resilience, innovation, and transformational commitment that transcends the bounds of the corporate world to touch lives on a global scale. Overcoming the economic crisis not only saved a company, but also reshaped the educational landscape, bringing new possibilities for students and teachers around the world. At the celebration of the 5th anniversary since the company's pivotal pivot to augmented reality technology, TechSpark headquarters was buzzing with life, with collaborators, partners, and community members gathered to celebrate the remarkable rebirth of the company. Daniel, in his speech to the enthusiastic crowd, reflected on TechSpark's trajectory. 5 years ago, we faced one of our greatest challenges. But today, we're not just celebrating overcoming a crisis, but the creation of a lasting impact. Each one of you played an essential role in this journey, and for that, I am eternally grateful. The party was a vibrant microcosm of TechSpark's own mission. In one corner, children played with an interactive augmented reality version that taught basic science concepts in a fun and engaging way. In another, educators discussed plans to implement the next generation of TechSpark products in their schools, eager to see how the new tools could transform their classrooms. The story of Daniel and TechSpark became a case study in business schools and a model for startups facing adversity. The idea that crises are disguised opportunities was exemplified through every decision made and every innovation launched by TechSpark. More than that, the company became a symbol of hope and how a future-focused vision and commitment to social responsibility can create waves of positive change. In a reflective moment, Daniel walked to the company garden, where a small green area served as a resting space for employees. Looking at the modern building, filled with solar panels and recycling areas, he pondered the deeper meaning of success. It wasn't just profitability that defined TechSpark's success, but the ability to sustain a community of learning and innovation that benefited society as a whole. True success, Daniel shared in an interview for a documentary on sustainable entrepreneurship, is creating something that lasts, something that not only grows in terms of numbers but grows in impact and value for the people we serve. TechSpark is proof that business and social progress can go hand in hand. As the evening fell over the anniversary event, the TechSpark team continued to celebrate, buoyed by a sense of accomplishment and optimism for the future. The company, once a survivor of the crisis, now looked toward the horizon with plans for expansion and new projects, always with the goal of expanding its mission to transform education through technology. The conclusion of Daniel's and TechSpark's story is not just a happy ending, but a starting point for new ideas and innovations. As the company continues to grow and influence, its journey serves as an inspiring reminder that, with the right vision and unwavering commitment, it is possible to turn the greatest challenges into opportunities to make a difference in the world. If you like this exciting story, help us by leaving your like and subscribing to our channel. Until the next story.